Hey Ringside crew, welcome to the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. And now here's your host, Joe Panther III.
Hello there, wrestling fans, and welcome to another episode in the middle of August UK Wrestling Month, because this is the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. I'm Joe Panther III, and man, today we have a gentleman that represents a promotion that is run in the UK. Let's give a warm Dudes at Ringside welcome to Josh from CWE. Welcome, Josh.
Cheers. Thank you very much for having me on.
No problem. So, when did you get your start with CWE?
So we started 15th of March 2021. It was something that was semi in mind for a while. So how it basically came about was a combination of multiple different things. I wanted my own business. I always had a strong passion for wrestling. A combination of them two, plus my cousin passed away several years ago of pancreatitis. He was a big Hulk Hogan fan. We were both big wrestling fans, and that sort of fed into why we had the red and yellow colour scheme with CWE, and it was just a combination of those things sort of coming together. Essentially, I was in my office and I was just fighting for names and stuff like that. He was writing stuff down and seeing what fitted properly, and Championship Wrestling Centre was born essentially. From that, started off as just an idea, just a Facebook page, and then see if we can eventually maybe get it started properly, and then it did, and then it's turned into what it is now. So it's been very surreal. I've had to learn a lot very quickly, not being, because obviously I wasn't from the industry. I wasn't privy to, I mean, I knew some things, but then I wasn't privy to the level of effort, psychology, the level of with the wrestling business. There's so much to it that people don't realise. There's so many layers to stuff. There's so much. There's just so many layers to each different thing. It's like Logan Paul said very, very well in an interview when he said, fighting Kevin Owens was harder than fighting Floyd Mayweather, because fighting Floyd Mayweather, they only have to worry about one person. Fighting Kevin Owens, he had 60,000 people to worry about. So again, it's that the whole audience encapsulated in the performances. It's just how the story's going, of it working, of the fan reactions, the right reactions that you wanted, all that, the psychology element of keeping them fans entertained throughout the show, and all these different things that come into play. It's like a piece of a jigsaw puzzle. So it's making sure that it fits. And I feel like, touch wood now, we've got a solid locker room, best one I think we've had, the strongest locker room. There's no egos, there's no prima donnas, there's no drama. Everyone gets on. No one sees themselves as any better or whatever than anyone else. We've got a nice level playing field, and we've got a good core staff team, good backroom team, and I'm happy. I'm happy with where we are.
Awesome. So my American fans, let's talk about your roster. Like, who are some of your champions if they're not familiar with you guys?
Yeah, so our current world champion is Bieros. People may or may not know him. He's a sort of cross between very Mick Foley-ish. He's got that hardcore style. He does a lot of hardcore matches. Big guy, strong. He isn't a very nice man, I will say that. But yeah, he's a bad guy. He's a heel. He's a very good heel. He's our current world champ. The tag team belts are currently actually vacant. They've just been vacated by Modern Day Mafia. The current UK champion is Jordan Sweet from Belfast, Northern Ireland. Our current women's world champ is Hayden Morgan, also from Belfast, Northern Ireland. And obviously we did have an Academy champion, Kenzo, who's just cashed in his Academy championship for his opportunity at the UK title on the 13th of July. And obviously we've just introduced the Commonwealth title, which will be, I think, we've got a plan to get number one contenders in July, and hopefully that will then be, we'll have a winner of that eventually on the 26th of October. So yeah, I don't think I've missed any belts. That's pretty much our belts at the moment. So yeah, like I said, we've got some decent champions. Really good people. Very passionate about what we do. And again, with us, it's about giving opportunities to people as well that maybe feel overlooked, maybe feel that they've not quite been given an opportunity to showcase what they can do. Obviously, we've had a big shout out actually to Mickey Midas, who obviously came over last year, formerly of AEW Dark. He came over from Owensboro in Kentucky. Really nice guy. Absolute pleasure to have him over. He was only with us for a few days. But yeah, such a top guy. Helps out a lot tremendously. Really, really good guy. And hopefully, I've had a bit more of interest as well from other talent across the pond. So hopefully, never say never is a saying wrestling. Hopefully, get some more guys and girls over this way.
You should. There's a lot of really good talent that I've interviewed. Like there's one young lady that I would love to see you, like maybe one day if she ever thought of going over across the pond. Her name, if you look her up, her name is Maddie Morgan. Maddie Monarch. Madison. Yeah. She is like a Spitfire. If you saw her, I have to send you her Instagram when we're done. She's about 4'9", and her character's a butterfly, and she comes out with butterfly wings. As soon as she hits that curtain, the whole crowd blows up. She just has to go ooh ah or something, make sounds. The crowd loves her. Her music hits. The whole audience may not know who she is. As soon as she opens her mouth and goes, everybody, the whole ring just. You would have thought someone said a beer joke, like somebody would said a pub song would have came on over the speakers. That's how much they love Maddie Monarch. She's just a firework. She's a little firework. We got Maddie Monarch. In the states where I live, we have Danny Moe, which is her. She's like her character is like neon colors and blonde hair, and she's just a firecracker, like another firecracker character. Her boyfriend Forsage is the neon blonde. He's another good wrestler. He just won the main belt in the PPW in Slatington, Pennsylvania.
All right.
His character flies around. He doesn't take chances. He's one of those guys that puts like Jeff Hardy puts those spit in the wind and just does it.
Yeah.
He did a move off the top of like an entranceway that I'll never forget. Like he went up there, these wrestlers were rumbling down below. He just did a swanton bomb off the top of something and drew a bunch of people. Up. Uh-oh. Your camera passed out. So
I was just having a call then. Sorry, I just had to reject it.
It's okay. It's like the camera fell over when I say fell. He jumps off the thing.
Yeah.
He couldn't handle it. So I asked this question, but normally I ask it to wrestlers. What is your normal like week or like a month processed up to like a week of shows, month of shows? What is it like for you?
So obviously, how we did stuff was the first year was very much a case of finding our feet, and we did a lot too much too soon. We got a bit too ahead of ourselves in certain ideas and talent we were bringing in and stuff like that. The wage bill was too high, so we had a sabbatical in sort of 2022. Had a break from it all. 2023 we came back. We readdressed the business model. We stripped things right back to basics, and we basically readdressed how we operated. Went down a charity route. Obviously, we've raised some decent funds now for different charities. Alder Hay Children's Hospital, Guts UK, we've had Dogs Trust, we've had I think RSPCA, we've had like a plethora of different charities. And so for us now, how I operate is the moment one show is done, my mind is automatically on the next one. Now, I know some of the wrestlers like to look back on the footage and stuff like that. For me, once the show's done, it's on to the next thing. It's a case of, right, now, planning, match cards, posters, all that sort of stuff. Prepping, making sure the staff can actually attend, making sure the wrestlers are available that day. It's all about planning for the next show. And that's what it's like for me. So, like, obviously on the night, I'm not that busy as such. My job is the moment that show finishes until the moment next show starts. That's my job. This is me, like, obviously doing interviews with with people like yourself and liaising with talent, staff, making sure that obviously things are in place. If things aren't in place, making sure there's a plan B. Lots of running around and stuff like that, making sure that everyone's happy and things like that. And if there are changes to people drop out, whatever, making sure that the transition's as smooth as possible. So that's a lot of my work is between shows rather than actually on the night. And then, like I say, we've got a very good team in place, to be honest, where I'm very confident where I can just let the guys and girls just go out there and do do their own thing. They don't have a great deal of restrictive control. It's a case of I'm very flexible on a lot of things, to be honest. I'm very laid back. Obviously, safety is always the first thing for me. If I think that someone's under the influence of whatever, then obviously they're gone. That's the other thing I'm really strict on. But that's purely down from again. I use the Jeff Hardy Sting reference back from TNA. Again, it's more of a safety thing. It's more of a case of I know I've seen it. I don't know if you saw the series on Netflix, OVW.
Yeah, I watched that. Yeah, I love that series.
People taking different things and stuff. I mean, for my personal opinion is, everyone should be doing it sober again, because at the end of the day, you've got people's lives in your hands, essentially, and everyone needs to be with it, irrespective of what it is people are taking. People need to be safe, and that's essentially what, that's all we ask for. So there's, like I say, things like that I'm very strict on, but, in terms of the wrestlers got full creative freedom. People, I always welcome ideas. Don't always agree with them, but sometimes I welcome ideas. And so what I'll say is, for argument's sake, someone will come up to me and say, "Well, what about this?" And I'll go, "Right, okay, let's hear you out. How would you work that with that?" And then more often than not, together we would come up with an outcome that's better than what one of us would come up with. We've just come together and work together. We could, do you know what? Actually, if we do this with this, that's even better, and everyone's a winner then. And I think obviously the more heads you bring together, the more that you have that fluidity of ideas and creativeness. Because especially some of them that they've got, a lot of them have got some really good ideas. But just sometimes people don't know how to implement the ideas, or they feel a bit timid. So it's a case of right, okay, let's try it. I'm always open for trying new stuff, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We can move on and we'll try something else. So it's just being about not being afraid of trying new things, because in this line of work, it's all about trying new stuff to try and encapsulate the audience and have that audience wanting more. Like in the UK, I don't know what it's like in the States, but we have like TV soap dramas we have like EastEnders, Coronation Street, Emmerdale, stuff like that, and where you have a certain demographic that are gripped and they watch it religiously, and they know it's scripted television, but the way they buy into it is they're literally on the edge of the seats watching this stuff every single night, every single week. And that is the same thing that we try and bring in with, obviously, with the art of wrestling. And it is an art, it's a skill form, and we are telling a story through the art of a professional performance, and that's the way we try and obviously bring that blend in, really.
Yeah. So one of my last few questions for you is like, I see how your posters come out and they look so awesome. Do you do the posters, or do you have a friend that makes the posters for the shows?
Yeah, no. So big shout out to my poster guy, my graphic designer. It's called Aaron Nix. He's based down south in the UK. Very good guy. Yeah, he's done our last few posters now. He does all the batch cards and graphics and stuff. Yeah, he's a very good guy. We did have somebody else and he took over. I just feel like the posters have just elevated every single time. Obviously, how I come up with certain ideas, because I'm not good in that sense. I'm very creative in terms of I have an idea of what I want, but sometimes again, what I'll do is I'll speak to Aaron and say, right, I want this, but I'm not quite sure how it would work on a poster. So then I would give that idea to Aaron. Aaron would then take the ball and run with it, and then we would tweak between ourselves. We would sort of work and tweak things, and it's like boom, that's the magic, and that's pretty much how we work together.
Awesome. My second and last question for you is: do you have any upcoming shows for the month of August yet? If not, let's like if you do, let me know. Do you?
Nothing in August. No, we've got July 13th, which is All or Nothing, which obviously the post has just been released yesterday. I think it was yesterday or today. We have October 26th, which is Last Resort, which is an Extreme Rules style event. And they are the only two planned currently for this year. We obviously had two shows last year. Again, was the show Reborn last April was our reintroduction show from our sabbatical. It was us sort of technically coming from the ashes, essentially. 2 shows last year, 3 shows this year, and then looking to obviously do 4 next year, and then try and carry on that level of momentum. Last show, highest gate we ever had, which was April 13th at I'm trying to think of the show name. April 13th, the very last show, highest gate we ever had. Yeah, absolutely smashed it. Battle Zone, sorry, because that many show names I've got in my head. Yeah, Battle Zone, which was, like I say, literally 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. Yeah, phenomenal crowd. Matches were perfectly smooth. Literally, obviously, I did the announcing myself. Probably the best show I've ever had. That's not my words. That's not the fans and the wrestlers' words, or the crowd's words. Yeah, literally, it's the best show I've ever had. So hopefully, we can try and carry on that trajectory for the July show, and then obviously the October one as well.
Awesome. Josh, I want to thank you so much for taking your time out of your busy day to come hang out with an American podcaster that's like, I've watched some of the shows and they're really good. I really hope one day I could be able to come to UK and then come by and check you guys out. I definitely I'll let you guys know if I ever come to the UK. That'd be kind of fun, because I've always wanted to come over this across the pond and check out like the European wrestling, because I've interviewed wrestlers from the past, from Kiara's, the Shorties, the Alfies, and much more. Yeah, all the great talent that you guys bring from the UK. So I want to thank you so much for taking your time out of your busy day. I'm Joe Panther III. Your turn. And that's Josh from CWE. and we will catch you in the next one.